What's up guys, welcome back to your Heroclix headquarters. So it's that time of the month again. The first Monday of the month is Meta Monday. And last month I did a kind of placeholder video for our normal Meta Monday discussion, but you guys seem to really like that, so I thought I would try and do that again for you guys. And this time we're going to do a Meta Team build focusing on this guy right here, the Black Leopard Common Prime from the new Fantastic Four set. He's super powerful, and we're going to look at a couple teams that can utilize him. But don't worry, if you like our meta discussion videos, me and Spencer will be back at it again in a couple weeks. So if you guys like double the dose of Meta Monday videos, make sure you smash that like button. But without any further ado, let's check out the teams. Alright, so now the first team we're going to look at is, I think, the most meta potential of any of these teams. So of course we're going to start with the man himself here, Black Leopard. If you guys don't already know what he does, he has the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Wakanda, Ruler, and Warrior keywords. He's got some improved movement, ignores hindering terrain. He starts with a trait that is, of course, the main reason we're using him. And it says, the maximum attack, defense, and damage values of opposing characters within 6 squares and line of fire are each equal to Black Leopard's printed value of that type. So that itself is super insane when you look at his stats. He starts off with 10 movement with charge, 10 attack blades, 17 combat reflexes and indomitable, and a 3 damage with a special damage power. He's only 50 points, so the fact that he can make every opposing character within 6 squares and line of fire of him have a 10 attack, 17 defense, and 3 damage is crazy. For really any situation you might find yourself in, just taking down somebody's stats to basic levels is just so good. But then, of course, on his damage, he has a special with Leadership, Perplex, and when Black Leopard uses Perplex to target himself, modify the chosen value by +2. Instead, if an opposing character within 6 squares and line of fire has a higher printed value of the chosen value than Black Leopard's printed value. So that basically means that if their printed attack was like an 11, and he has that 10, he can +2 to his attack. If their printed defense was an 18, he could do a +2 to his defense, and etc. So that's insanely powerful as well. So this guy really brings a lot to the team for only 50 points. He's got a lot of good keywords. So of course the first team I'm going to want to build with him is an Avengers team. Avengers has a lot of great characters to choose from, one of which being the dreaded Chase Black Widow from the Black Widow movie set. So if you guys have no idea what she does, we'll take a quick look, because she does a lot. As you can see, she's got Avengers and Spy keywords, some improved movement, ignores elevated terrain. She also has the Avengers Initiative team ability, so she's going to be able to move and see through hindering terrain as well. She starts off with this trait, Espionage Patience. If Black Widow is on a theme team or your starting force has 2 other characters from the Black Widow movie set, standard friendly characters can't have their attack rolls of 10 or more re-rolled, and opposing characters targeting those characters can't have their attack rolls of 4 or less re-rolled. So that is actually probably worse than it even sounds. The ability to stop your opponent from probbing your critical hits or your really high attack rolls is just horrible. Same thing, the ability to stop them from probbing their own really low rolls is also horrible. This has won and lost so many games for people. This is actually probably the most powerful thing that she does, and we've only just gotten started. She's got some crazy other abilities as well. Her other trait gives her stealth, and Black Widow starts the game with 5 Tradecraft tokens. As a free action, she can remove a Tradecraft token to choose an opposing character within 6 squares and line of fire. And until your next turn, that character can't use a standard power unless it's displayed on their dial as a colored square, and can't have their combat values positively modified. So again, that is insane. Traded stealth is great. And then she has 5 Tradecraft tokens, which lets her use a free action essentially up to 5 times per game, where she can turn off any and all powers an opponent has that isn't just an actual colored square on their dial. So any special powers, any traits that would grant powers, any equipment that grants powers, can't use any of it unless it's actually a colored square. And then in addition to that, they also can't have their combat values positively modified. So even if they were to have an actual colored power for like combat reflexes or energy shield deflection or range combat expert or close combat expert or perplex, they're not going to be able to use that to up their stats at all. Your opponent's not going to be able to use any other friendly characters to up their stats. It's insanely powerful. And then of course on her defense, she also has a stop click. But when this power is first revealed, you must remove all Black Widow's tradecraft tokens and then heal her that many clicks. So if you have even like one tradecraft token remaining on her, it's going to stop, it's going to immediately heal her a click, removing that last token, and then your opponent's going to have to hit her back to that stop click again, which is really difficult to deal with. Then she has another special that she starts with on her damage power that gives her leadership and outwit. And as a free action, you can remove a tradecraft token to generate a number 3 Widow's Initiate or a number 6 Widow's Recruit on click number 1. So leadership and outwit is awesome. Outwit that can see through stealth is even better. And as a free action, you can remove a token to generate either of those characters, which is also insanely powerful because that's a free action. You can use that after, running, shotting, moving, being carried, anything like that. So of course, now we got to take a look at her dial. She starts with a 10 movement with running shot, with 6 range double target, a 12 attack penetrating blast, 18 with combat reflexes and indomitable, and a 3 damage with the leadership outwit special there. She's got a pretty solid 7 clicks of life with that stop click there at the end for only 100 points. And of course, there's the Avengers initiative team ability, like I said. So only 100 points she does, probably way too much for the team as it is. And just in case you guys don't already know what Widow's Recruit or Widow's Initiate do, we can take a quick look at them. So here we have the Widow's Initiate there. She's pretty cool, looks kind of like a regular Black Widow, but blonde. So taking a look at her card, she does have a trait that during game setup, she counts as 2 characters for theme teams, which would be awesome if we weren't just playing her on the sideline as a call-in. Stealth with 4 range, 10 attack, 16 combat reflexes, and 2 damage with close combat expert for only 25 points isn't half bad. I do occasionally call her in if I just need a high attack to hit something with, but usually she's more of a last resort because the Widow's Recruit is even better. Taking a look at her card here, she starts out with a trait that says, when Widow's Recruit starts the game, for all characters with this trait, choose an opposing character or a team ability. When Widow's Recruit uses poison, she deals penetrating damage to that character or opposing characters that can use that team ability. So she's probably the best one to call in because she also has a 4 range, 10 attack, 3 damage, with a 17 defense. Super Senses and Shape Change is a great defensive combo, but she starts with that poison, which she can make penetrating whenever she starts the game, and that includes whenever she's just generated by Black Widow. So to be able to get that free penetrating poison, carrying Black Widow up, generating a recruit, getting a penetrating poison on anybody you need to, and then being able to follow up attack with a 10 attack, 3 damage, and really lock it down your opponent there with that Super Senses and Shape Change combo is nuts for only 25 points. Or 0 points considering you're actually calling them in off of the sideline. But back to the main team, Black Widow has been paired with this character many times before because she is also insanely powerful. And that is, of course, going to be the super rare Captain Marvel from Captain America and the Avengers. Taking a look at what she can do if you guys don't already know. She starts with that Avengers Assembled trait that on this team, we are going to have 3 or more. So she will be able to roll for that when she hits an opposing character on a 5 or a 6. She's going to be able to remove an action token from herself or give an action token to a hit character, which is pretty nice. She also has this amazing trait that as a free action once per game, you can generate a Chewy Bystander, which again, this is a free action, so you can use this after she uses her hypersonic speed, after she just moves or is carried or whatever. And we'll take a look at Chewy in a second, because she also has this amazing movement power, which gives her hypersonic speed, and when Captain Marvel uses it after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to an opposing character that she moved through, and if that character is a vehicle, deal 3 penetrating damage instead. but just hypersonic that can potentially deal a free penetrating damage just from moving through somebody is insane. She also has a special on her defense that gives her stop, invincible, and gives her protected outwit on her whole dial. So taking a look at her dial here, we're going to be playing her at the 95 point line. So she's going to start with that 10 movement with the hypersonic special, 11 attack, 18 invulnerability, and a 3 damage with probability control. She of course has a 7 range, flight, indomitable, Avengers team ability. And then taking a quick look at the inside of her card, we can see what the Chewy Bystander does. It has a 6 movement with a special that gives it Flurry, Plasticity, and Giant Reach 2. 10 attack with Blades Claws, 17 with Super Senses, and a 1 damage with Perplex and Tiny Size. So being able to just free action, drop this thing off, perplex its attack up to 11, and Flurry Blades on your opponent is insane for a 0-point bystander that you can call in with a free action. And of course that's even after she uses her special hypersonic power to already ping somebody for a penetrating damage, attack somebody, move into a better position to call in the Chewy Bystander that can, like I said, flurry blades on somebody is nuts. Now we've still got 55 points left to round out this team. So with 3 main characters here, we're also going to be using Voyager. From the Avengers, Black Panther, and the Illuminati set, this Voyager is going to be our main support figure, really. She starts with a trait, a Sense of Greater Challenge at the beginning of the game. If an opponent's force includes an additional game element, heal Voyager 1 click past her starting line to click number 0. Current additional game elements are equipment, special terrain, locations, ID cards, all just rotated out of Modern Age. But then she also has another trait, which is the main reason she's here, because it lets her have Passenger 1 or Passenger 3, but only to carry characters that share a keyword with her, and she may carry characters with the flight or giant size symbols. So that's great. She's going to be able to carry Black Leopard, Black Widow, and Captain Marvel all at the same time. Then she also starts with a special attack power that gives her telekinesis, but only to place characters. And when Voyager uses it, neither she nor the target character's square need line of fire to the destination square. So as long as she has line of fire to the character that you want to move, you can move them through walls, through elevated, through characters, whatever, get them wherever you need them to, which is actually incredibly helpful. Taking a look at her dial, she starts with a 14 movement with Phasing Teleport, which is also going to be great when you combo that with the Avengers team ability. And she also has the Power Cosmic team ability, so she's going to have some willpower. And then she also starts with that 9 attack with the TK special, 17 with Energy Shield Deflection, and 1 damage with Perplex, or a 10 attack with the TK special, 18 with Energy Shield Deflection, and 1 damage with Outwit if your opponent is using any type of special location bonuses or equipment or anything like that, which if we're talking about a meta game, they most likely will be. So this also leaves us with 5 points left over, and Black Leopard's main weakness is his ability to get shot down from range. If somebody shoots him from more than 6 squares away, his trait isn't going to activate. I actually don't have it currently. I'm in the process of trading for one, but I'll go ahead and put the card on screen for you guys, because what I want to use for 5 points is the Nightbringer Ring. So that's going to give him stealth and smoke cloud, and as a free action, he's going to be able to generate a couple squares of smoke cloud as well, which is going to be huge, letting him stay safe from most ranged attacks. And so if you really wanted to, you could just TK it to him straight away to equip it turn 1, or you could carry him over to it and he could equip it on turn 2. Whatever you really need to do there. But the main strategy here is just using Voyager to carry the 3 of them around. Make sure he's got that stealth. Probably want to keep him and Black Widow up in the front as kind of a stealthy line of fire blockers. And then once you've gotten close enough to your opponent, you could have Captain Marvel hypersonic out, ping somebody for damage, hit them with the attack, and then call in Chewie to make a couple attacks. And if you can get Black Leopard to the point where he's within 6 squares in line of fire, it's going to make making those attacks a lot easier, because they're only going to have a 17 defense no matter what they do. Of course, this is a maximum value from his trait, so it doesn't matter if they have something like Defend that replaces their defense value, if they've perplexed it up a bunch, anything like that. This is a maximum value that comes into play even after replacing and modifying. It'll take them down to a 17 at most. Then when you include the fact that Black Widow can turn off basically every power that an opposing figure has, on top of also getting rid of any of their stat modifiers, and as a board-wide kind of nerf to probability control if you happen to roll high or if your opponent rolls low. And then even if you were to just carry the whole team up from Voyager, you could still use Black Widow to call in one of these as a free action, and you could still use Captain Marvel to call in her Chewie bystander as a free action. You know, there's a lot of insane things you can do with this team. Black Leopard being a decent attacker in his own right, being able to deal massive damage with Blade's Claws. He's got that leadership and perplex to bring to the team as well. Comboing that with Black Widow's leadership and outwit, and Captain Marvel's probability control, and Voyager having either perplex or outwit, you've really got access to all of the best support powers and some great attackers as well. So it just gives you a lot of options, and it really shuts down a lot of your opponent's options as well. I've actually managed to play test this team against Spencer, and it was disgusting. I actually felt really bad playing this team. But it's a strong team, and I would recommend giving it a try. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this team. Now, I wanted to build a Fantastic Four team with him, and I started to, but then I actually thought that another Avengers team might work out better in this case. Now, they're not quite as strong as the first team, but I think they're still pretty solid options. So, I started out here with this Invisible Woman, the rare one. She actually is really good, especially if you don't have the Nightbringer Ring to give him stealth. So we'll take a look at what she does. She got the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Lady Liberator, Shield, Celebrity, and Spy keywords. She starts out with a trait that gives her stealth, improved targeting, hindering terrain, and adjacent friendly characters that share a keyword with her can use stealth and improve targeting, hindering terrain. So this is really the main reason I wanted to use her. Giving him stealth without having to equip him with something like the Nightbringer Ring is really helpful, and actually giving him that improved targeting hindering is even better because his trait does require line of fire. So if your opponent was playing a very stealthy team, his effect might not even come into play at all, but with this it would, which I think is just kind of worth noting. She also has the Form the New Fantastic Four trait, which I'm sure you guys have probably seen before, but feel free to pause and read it out. Basically, it's going to let you switch out Fantastic Four characters on your main force for ones that are on your sideline, so long as they are the same amount of characters and the points of the sideline ones are not greater than the ones from your main force, which is really cool, and you can still use that on an Avengers team, even with just her, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But then she also has the special on her attack that gives her Incapacitate, and when Invisible Woman uses it, after resolutions, hit characters modify attack -1 until your next turn. So having that Incapacitate special is pretty nice, especially when she has a 6-range triple target. For this team, I'm going to be using her at the 75-point line, but the 60-point line is good as well, because either way, she's going to start out with a 9 movement with flight and running shot. At 75 points, she starts out with an 11 attack. At 60, she starts out with a 10 with that triple Incapacitate special. And again, at 75 points, she starts out with an 18 with Energy Shield Deflection versus a 17 with Energy Shield Deflection. And then at 75 points, she starts out with a 2 damage and Probability Control. And at 60 points, she would start out with a 2 damage with Perplex. So, like I said, we're playing her at 75. So we're going to get the higher stats and the Probability Control, as well as the Shield team ability and Fantastic Four team abilities, which are both great additions as well. Being able to use the Shield team ability to up somebody's range, potentially also giving her a power action to up their damage for a ranged attack, and giving them that stealth and improved targeting hindering terrain trait is really a great combo. Starting with the Perplex and for the 60-point line would be great as well to add more to that. But now one of the main reasons I actually want to play her at 75 is for the Form the New Fantastic Four trait. 75 actually just gives her a lot of really good options, because if you find yourself in a situation where you're dealing with a mostly close combat team that's not using any stealth that you would need to see through, then switching her out for somebody like a 75-point Human Torch gives you a really good ranged attacker. The rare one from the set is a great one with Running Shot and Pulse Wave, or the one from the starter set on his 75-point line is great as well, because anytime he moves through a character, he's going to be able to deal penetrating damage. You could also use maybe the Thing at 75 points if you wanted a good close attacker, or the rare Silver Surfer at 75 points would be a great one to switch her out with as well for that Hypersonic special and that Dawn Greenwood token and all the cool stuff that he does. Immobilizing people is really awesome. And the cool thing about her trait is that since it's at the beginning of the game, you're still going to be able to get your Avengers theme team bonus for rolling for who goes first and for getting theme team props and all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, there's really a lot of great options for her switching out at 75 points. But moving on, another main reason I wanted to use her to give everyone stealth is because we're going to use the Shifting Focus Black Widows. Mainly the number 1 version, because she has a trait that if Black Widow is on a theme team or your starting force has 2 other characters from the Black Widow movie set, opposing characters can't use improved targeting abilities to target her or adjacent friendly characters. She also has some improved targeting there for characters. Avengers Initiative team ability gives her improved targeting and movement through hindering. Of course, Shifting Focus Widow trait to switch between any of them. But mainly that trait that's going to be able to stop them from using improved targeting abilities on us. When Invisible Woman is already giving everybody stealth and improved targeting hindering is great. But then if they can't use improved targeting hindering on any of us, it's going to be even better. So here's just a quick look at the back of Black Widow's card. She's a decent attacker. She brings some perplex and stuff there as well. And, the rest of the Shifting Focus are really good as well. If you guys don't know what they do, I'll just kind of leave them on here for you guys to read and look at. They do a lot of really good stuff. They got, TK and Prob and leadership on this one. This one is great for her free smoke cloud, and that turns off also improved abilities and team abilities. And she's got some outwit there if you need it, which is great. And then this one being more of a close combat figure that can actually knock the equipment off of your opposing characters is really awesome. And she's just a really good close combat attacker. There's also another Shifting Focus Black Widow that I'll probably be getting in the mail any day now. That is the Free Comic Book Day Widow. She also brings some cool stuff to the team if you have her as well. But really the main one we need is the number 1 to be able to stop them from using any type of improved abilities to see through our stealth. Now adding on to this, you're going to want to be able to carry your characters together, because you're going to want to keep them all together so they all have that stealth and that protection against improved abilities. Currently we're at 200 points, so you could easily use a Voyager like the last team and have 50 points to spare for another good character. But just to be a little bit different, and because somebody asked me to build a good team with a Ghost Rider on it, I'm going to be using the Chase Ghost Rider from Captain America and the Avengers, because he is freaking awesome, and he also has the ability to carry up to 3 characters, but only characters that share a keyword with him, regardless of flight, which is nice since Invisible Woman does have flight. He also has the Ram ability, and when Ghost Rider uses it, he modifies his speed +3 and does not take unavoidable damage from using it, which is awesome. And the cool thing about that is you can actually use the Ram ability just to get a +3 speed. As long as you just move in a straight line, you can carry all 3 of them with you and not have to lose out on any of his movement capacity. He also has improved movement through elevated and hindering, which is great. He has another trait here, Flaming Chain, that when he hits with an attack after resolutions, you can give the flame marker to a hit character, removing it from any other character. And then basically whenever that character hits after resolutions, deal them 1 penetrating damage. But then if they miss all targets, you can remove it. So basically it kind of just makes it so anytime they hit somebody, they kind of take like a Mystics damage, which is really cool. Especially if they hit him back, because he has Mystics, so they'll take 2 penetrating. And this guy's stats are just really good for a main close attacker as well. a 10 movement with charge, 11 attack with quake, 18 invulnerability and indomitable, and a 4 damage with exploit weakness. And don't forget that if you use that ram ability to ram through a bunch of their characters, you're going to be able to hit all of them for 4 damage, which is pretty insane. 3 range is not bad either, especially with the shield team ability from Invisible Woman. 4 range could actually come in handy, especially in the mid dial there where he has that running shot with the energy explosion. But this guy is really great to carry the team around, and as, like I said, our main close combat attacker. And again, he's made even better by being protected from the stealth and protected from improved targeting abilities as well. And once you've gotten your team up into close combat, then that's where Black Leopard is really going to shine. He can really get everybody in there quickly. He's going to be making sure that your opponent's maximum stats are very basic. Once you've gotten into the fight, if you don't need this Black Widow anymore, you could shifting focus to the one that's actually a good close combat attacker, or the one that creates free smoke cloud that turns off improved abilities and team abilities, which means they wouldn't be able to escape it if they had improved movement hindering, or since you're already close enough, they again wouldn't be able to use improved targeting hindering to see through your stealth. And she could be able to outwit power cosmic characters, because that's a thing. Turning off power cosmic team ability with her smoke cloud is awesome, and then having that outwit is especially useful. So that's the main strategy here, but we do have 30 whole points left, which really on an Avengers team, there's tons of stuff you could do with that. So to make it simple, we could just throw in an AIM White squad. For only 30 points, he's great because at the beginning of the game, you can choose Outwit or Perplex, or if he's on a name theme team, you can choose both, which is great. Plus, he's only a 30-point support character, so he's going to make good use of theme team probability controls. And being able to push him onto that defend and support is great to be able to heal our team as well. But another option, if you didn't want to use him, maybe you wanted to use some cool equipment on any of these guys, then you could also bring in AIM Red for only 20 points, which again, he has a trait that lets him choose between Empower or Enhancement, and if he's on a name theme team, you can use both. So Empower and Enhancement's gonna really up the damage of all of our characters, and again, he's still gonna make some pretty good use of theme team prop control. He's got Sidestep too, so if you did want to include like a light object, maybe 10 points for any of the Infinity Gems or something like that, having that Sidestep is going to be great for him to just move up, move back, and then Sidestep to drop off the object, since he can pick it up from the first move and then drop it from the second move. Since it's just a light object, of course anybody can pick it up. So it just brings a little bit extra to the team if you wanted to use any objects. So yeah, this is a really cool team. I don't think it's quite as powerful as the first one, but it's definitely got potential. And if you guys have come up with any cool Fantastic Four teams that have used Black Leopard and Invisible Woman, let me know, because I'd really love to hear about that. So there we go. Those are a few teams that I've managed to build with this guy so far. They're pretty awesome, and this guy is super obnoxious to deal with. But let me know what you guys think about him in the comments, and let me know what you guys think about all of the teams, and if there's any way you'd maybe mix and match them up a little bit differently. I'd love to hear about that. And let me know what kind of teams you played him on and how well he's done for you, because that would be awesome to hear about as well. But before you guys go, I wanted to give a huge thank you to all of our over 200 subscribers now. I can't believe it's happened already. Thank you guys so much for liking and commenting and subscribing on so many of my videos. And I've had so many nice comments saying things like, I deserve more subscribers, I'm your guys' favorite Heroclix channel. Honestly, it means so much to me, you guys. I really appreciate that you would go out of your way to say such nice things. So, in honor of such a big milestone, I have some news. I'm going to do a whole video about it later, but I am getting ready to do a big giveaway for you guys just for that. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button and stay tuned for that big giveaway that I'm planning. But again, until next time, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.